Students, welcome to second part of Advent of Europeans to India. During the first part, we had already discussed the trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe, the fall of Constantinople, the sea route to India, and three Carnatic Wars. In this video, we shall discuss the remaining three concepts like Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and dual government concept. Let's begin. The British rule in India. After gaining political control over South India, the British tried to gain control over the rich Bengal province in the later part of 18th century. Slowly British tried to capture Bengal during the later part of 18th century. They wanted to establish their control over this province. The Bengal province had achieved tremendous growth in the areas of agriculture, commerce and industry. It was the main source of resource. That's why British tried to capture, or they tried to gain control over this Bengal, because during that time Bengal had made a great progress in the field of agriculture, in the field of commerce and even in industry. The East India Company was making considerable profits from this province. The dastaks issued by the Mughal ruler Farrukhsiyar were the main reason for this. Here, the Mughal ruler during that time was Farrukhsiyar. He issued the dastaks to the British. Dastak means free trade license. But this dastak was misused by the company officials. Mughal ruler Farrukhsiyar gave this dastak for the purpose of trade only to East India Company, but these dastaks were misused by the company officials. They used it for their personal purposes. Due to that reason, the Nawab of Bengal faced huge loss, or it led to huge loss to the Bengal government. Due to these reasons, all Nawabs from Murshid Ali Khan to Alivardi Khan, they opposed such misuse. They opposed the misuse of dastaks. When they opposed the misuse of dastaks, finally it led to the conflicts between Nawabs and the company, and this resulted in two crucial wars. This led to two important wars. First one is Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. These two wars were considered as an important event in the history of India. First one, Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey was fought in the year 1757. Here, 1756, Alivardi Khan, he was the Nawab of Bengal. He died in the year 1756. After his death, his grandson Siraj-ud-Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal. Siraj-ud-Dawla was the grandson of Alivardi Khan. Alivardi Khan was the Nawab of Bengal. After the death of Alivardi Khan, it was Siraj-ud-Dawla who became the Nawab, and this Battle of Plassey, which was fought in the year 1757, it was fought between young Siraj-ud-Dawla and the British in the year 1757. Now let's see what were the reasons for this Battle of Plassey. First reason was misuse of dastaks. Siraj-ud-Dawla was furious that the dastaks were misused by the officials of the company, causing losses to the government treasury. You have already seen the dastaks were misused by the company officials, which led to huge loss to the Nawab of Bengal, and it was opposed especially by Siraj-ud-Dawla. Siraj-ud-Dawla was the Nawab during that time. That's why misuse of dastaks were opposed by Sirajuddaulah. Second one, mending of the fort without permission. Here, the British repaired or mended the fort of Calcutta and placed cannons in them. Cannons means here arms. Here, this further angered Sirajuddaulah. He ordered the removal of the cannons from the fort, but the British refused to do so, which angered Sirajuddaulah. Sirajuddaulah got angry when he forced the British to remove the cannons from the fort. Which fort? Fort of Calcutta. When Sirajuddaulah asked to do so, British were not ready to do so, which led to Battle of Plassey. In this way, mending of the fort without permission was another important reason. Third one, Black Room tragedy. Here, Sirajuddaulah conquered Fort William easily and imprisoned some Britishers. When he forced the Britishers to remove cannons from the fort of Calcutta, British refused that. That's why he conquered Fort William and he imprisoned some Britishers. He imprisoned nearly 146 Englishmen in a small room in the fort, of which 123 died. This incident was known as Black Room tragedy. Sirajuddaulah was responsible for this Black Room tragedy. During that time, the governor of East India Company was Robert Clive. This incident enraged Robert Clive and he arrived in Bengal with a huge army. He tried to defeat Sirajuddaulah. For that purpose, he came to Bengal with a huge army. These were the three reasons for the Battle of Plassey. Before waging Battle of Plassey, Robert Clive made certain plans. For example, he attracted rich locals like Manik Chand, Omi Chand, Jagat Seth and others towards him. During that time, these three were the rich locals. They were the rich persons, Manik Chand, Omi Chand, Jagat Seth. And he was successful. He, in the sense, Robert Clive was successful in convincing Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar was the military head of Sirajuddaulah. He made Mir Jafar to stay neutral in the battle. He offered him the post of Nawab of Bengal. Mir Jafar was offered the post of Nawab of Bengal by Robert Clive. These were the certain plans or precautionary measures taken by Robert Clive before waging war against Sirajuddaulah. Finally, due to all these developments, Robert Clive declared war against Sirajuddaulah in the year 1757. Everything went according to the plan of Robert Clive. Sirajuddaulah, who tried to escape from the battlefield, was captured and killed. In this way, in the Battle of Plassey, Sirajuddaulah was captured and he was killed. After the Battle of Plassey, we can see many effects or outcomes. Let's see what were the outcomes of the Battle of Plassey. Outcomes in the sense what happened after this Battle of Plassey. First one, this war brought out the immorality, lack of unity among the Indians and the greed of Indian businessmen. The Battle of Plassey showed the immorality or lack of unity among Indians, and many Indian businessmen or rich persons, they helped British. It showed the greed of Indian business. As per the plan, Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of Bengal because he was promised by Robert Clive earlier. As per that promise, Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of Bengal. Company gained exclusive or complete control to trade in Bengal because the British or the East India Company, they won the war. Naturally, they gained complete control over Bengal. Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs to Sirajuddaulas as war indemnity for the attack of Fort William. Sirajuddaulah attacked Fort William and he made damages to the British East India Company. That's why Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs to the British. These were the four outcomes of the Battle of Plassey. These 4 points are considered as very important from the exam point of view. Let's move to Battle of Buxar. Here, after the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of Bengal, and at the end he became victim of the company and its employees. Even though the treasury went bankrupt due to this greedy nature, the greediness of the company and its officials was never satisfied. The British projected Mir Jafar as an inefficient Nawab, brought in his nephew Mir Qasim as the new Nawab. British dethroned Mir Jafar because they projected him as an inefficient Nawab. According to them, Mir Jafar was an inefficient, that's why they made Mir Qasim as the new Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim was the nephew of Mir Jafar. Now let's see the Battle of Buxar. It was fought in the year 1764. Mir Qasim was an efficient administrator. In the beginning, he remained loyal to the company. He was made as the Nawab of Bengal after Mir Jafar. When Mir Qasim became Nawab of Bengal, he fulfilled all the demands of the British. He paid 2 lakh pounds to the company and also gave away a few places to the British East India Company. But slowly he declared himself as an independent king. He wanted to become an independent king. That's why he was slowly trying to expand his power. After verifying the misuse of dastaks, he declared all business was duty free in Bengal. One of the major decisions taken by Mir Qasim was he declared all business was duty free in Bengal. Anybody can do business in Bengal without the permission of Nawab, because the dastaks were misused by the East India Company. Indians could compete with the British in all spheres of business. As a result, the British trade suffered considerably. This was enough for the British to oppose the Nawab. Here, when Indians started competing with the British, Mir Qasim was removed from the throne. This was the main reason for the removal of Mir Qasim. That's why again Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of Bengal. Again they brought in Mir Jafar and they dethroned Mir Qasim. Here, after the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar was the Nawab. According to the British, he was an inefficient Nawab. That's why they dethroned Mir Jafar. They made Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim made all trade duty free. That's why they dethroned Mir Qasim. Once again, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. When Mir Qasim was dethroned, he knew the cunningness of the British. He went for an organized war against them. He was supported by Indian merchants and artisans. He tried to defeat the British. He made an organization. He organized many people. In this venture, he was supported by Indian merchants. He was supported by artisans, and also he made an agreement with the Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and Nawab of Oudh Shuja-ud-Dawla. Mir Qasim made an agreement. During that time, the Mughal ruler was Shah Alam II, and the Nawab of Oudh was Shuja-ud-Dawla. In this way, Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II, Shuja-ud-Dawla declared war against the British. In the year 1764, the battle or the war was known as Battle of Buxar. Mir Qasim faced the British army. British army was under the control of Hector Munro. Battle of Buxar was fought in the year 1764. Finally, Mir Qasim was defeated. He ran away from the battlefield. Shah Alam II surrendered. The efforts of the combined forces to stop the British failed miserably. No one could defeat the British in this war. Even Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II or Shuja-ud-Dawla. Finally, the combined armies of Shuja-ud-Dawla, Mir Qasim and Shah Alam II failed miserably. Now let's see what were the outcomes of the Battle of Buxar. Like Battle of Buxar, like Battle of Plassey, even the Battle of Buxar also led to many changes, many effects. First one, Shah Alam II accorded Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. The right to collect taxes in Bengal is known as Diwani right. Diwani right to the British was given by Shah Alam II. Along with this, Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. British East India Company gave him 26 lakhs. For that, he gave all his rights over Bengal. The Nawab of Oudh had to pay a fine of rupees 50 lakhs for waging a war against the company. The Nawab of Oudh was Shuja-ud-Dawla. He joined hands with Mir Qasim and he fought war against the East India Company. For that reason, he was forced to pay a fine of rupees 50 lakhs. With the death of Mir Jafar, the company paid pension to his son. Mir Jafar died. After his death, his son was given pension, took over the entire administration of Bengal. In this way, British were successful in establishing their complete control over Bengal, especially with the help of Battle of Buxar, which was fought in the year 1764. The last concept of this lesson is dual government. Here, in 1765, Robert Clive brought in dual government. 1764, the Battle of Buxar fought. The very next year, that was 1765, Robert Clive introduced dual government concept. According to this dual government concept, the British had the right to collect land taxes, whereas the Nawab had power over administrative issues like justice and others. Here we can see two government or dual government. One government under the control of British, they had the right to collect land taxes. Another government, the government of Nawab. What were the duties of Nawab? He had the right to power over administrative issues like justice and others. He did not have the right to collect land taxes. With the help of this dual government, the British gained political control over India to protect their business interests. Dear students, in these two parts, we have discussed the first lesson of history, that is, the advent of Europeans to India. I have given the links of exercise questions in the description. Along with that, I am going to give you one more question and also MCQ questions and other most important questions. You can click on those links and you get the answer.